Many times now I have spoken about the issue of G2A and other key reselling sites like it in the grey market. Now, of course, I've talked at length about the issues of G2A itself. Obviously, that's the whole Bulletstorm Foil Clip Edition thing and the whole thing with tiny builds. And of course, I've spoken generally about how they're damaging to the industry due to the prevalence of credit card chargeback schemes, keys bought with stolen credit cards, and other nefarious things that end up almost taking down entire companies and directly costing developers money because they are the ones that have to pay those chargebacks if a credit card is proven to be stolen and keys were then bought with that stolen card. And you might wonder, why am I bringing that up again? Well, it's actually due to the actions of a developer by the name of Acid Wizard Studio, who just released a game by the name of Darkwood, which is a top-down horror game. Now, after only 1 week on sale, they decided to put the game on Pirate Bay. You might wonder, okay, why did they do this, and how does this link to G2A? Well, the second part I'll get to in a minute, but they didn't do this because the game sucks or because it wasn't doing very well. You know, it's sitting on a fairly comfortable, very positive on Steam, and Acid Wizard have said that the game has sold half as many copies in a week as it did in the 3 years it spent on early access. So it's not that. They've got more than enough people buying the game to make them happy, and the game is getting reviewed pretty damn well by the over 1,000 people who have reviewed it. So it comes down to a couple of things, and it wasn't actually a planned decision by them. Apparently it all started about because they got an influx of emails requesting codes for giveaways and so on that were actually scams. Now obviously, I'm a YouTuber myself, you are watching me here on YouTube, and that's a shock, but you are, I know, shocking. And often I'll write to developers requesting review keys, or either at launch or early access or whatever it happens to be. And a lot of the time, especially recently, these developers have asked me to prove that I am who I say I am, basically. And the reason for this is obvious. Someone could pose as me, and then just, obviously it's not actually me, and they've just gotten themselves a free game. And they wrote in an Imgur post, which I will link below for your perusal, quote, "People claim to be a YouTuber or blogger and ask for a Steam key. That key then gets sold for a shady platform. To be honest, we're fed up with it. This practice makes it impossible for us to do any giveaways or send keys to people who don't actually have the money to play Darkwood." And then compounded upon this, and this sort of feeling of, oh, they wanted people who couldn't afford the game to be able to play it, they actually got, obviously, a few refunds and blah, 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 and there's reasons for those refunds compounded with the giveaway issue that made them make the decision to put their game on Pirate Bay. And they said, quote, "When we read the explanation from someone who wrote that he needed the refund because he didn't want his parents to be stressed out with seeing the bill at the end of the month, well, it made us feel quite bad. So we decided to do something about it. If you don't have the money and want to play the game, we have a safe torrent on the Pirate Bay of the latest version of Darkwood, and completely DRM free. There's no catch, no added pirate hats for characters or anything like that. We just have one request. If you like Darkwood and want to continue to making games, consider buying it in the future. Maybe on sale, blah, 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 blah." And here is where this ties into G2A, this final sentence here. Quote, "But please, don't buy it through any key reselling site. By doing that, you're just feeding the cancer that is leeching off this industry." Now, I and other people have said multiple times, it's actually better for you to pirate a game than it is to buy it on G2A or other key reselling sites like it. Again, they are by far from the only ones, but they are obviously one of the more prevalent and popular sites. That's why I keep bringing them up in particular. This isn't me taking fire at them or whatever, it's just those types of sites in general. But especially G2A, given everything we know about them, we know for sure that there's issues of credit card chargeback scams, etc. It's actually better for you to just pirate the game than it is to buy it on G2A, because you pirating it doesn't actually cost them anything. Okay, you could argue, oh, it's a lost sale. Well, that person might buy it eventually, and how do you know they weren't ever going to buy it? You can't argue that someone who pirates it is 100% of the time a lost sale. For all you know, they'll buy it when it goes on sale in the Steam sale or whatever, or they were never intending to buy it and just downloaded it because it was there. You can't make that argument that 100% of downloaded copies on Pirate Bay or whatever are a lost sale. That's just, you can't prove that. Some of them are, sure, but you're not literally costing them money as in they have to pay the fees to the credit card company because a bunch of keys were bought with a stolen card and they're having to pay the credit card chargebacks. This has literally led to companies almost closing because of the amount of keys being sold on these types of sites that literally cost the developer money. And this is obviously a small team. This game is only $11.99 in pounds and $14.99 in dollars. So this is kind of me like ramming home that point that this is from the mouth of a developer. It is better to pirate a game than it is to buy it off a site on G2A. But all in all, this is obviously just a really nice, really consumer-friendly move. Hopefully, people who do end up pirating it eventually buy it either on sale or full price when they have the money for it, that sort of thing. Obviously, not everyone can buy games full price, even when they're as cheap as this one. You know, you're a student, whatever, there's multiple reasons why that might be the case, but regardless of the reasoning, hopefully eventually they do support this developer, because this is a really, obviously, quite bold move and quite a human move as well, which is not something we see a lot in the gaming industry, or really any big budget, you know, billion-dollar industry. We often lose sight of the human beings who are within that industry, because obviously at times it can feel like a faceless machine, especially when you're dealing with AAA. Obviously this is not AAA, but still, it's still a nice move. Obviously it is a shame that they were partially pushed to do this by people trying to get free keys via illegitimate means, but what I really want to talk about again was key reselling sites, and just kind of bring up once again the issue of those types of sites and why they're a problem. I'm going to link my last couple of videos on this topic in the description below, because I don't want to repeat myself. I've gone through these points so many times. People who have been on this channel for a while have probably heard me talk about it and probably just screaming at the screen for me to shut up about it at this point. But no, I won't, to be honest, because this is important when these sites are literally causing developers to almost fold due to the amount of credit card chargebacks and all that sort of thing. It's an issue that needs to be stamped out, and obviously people are never going to stop trying to get free games. That's obviously going to be a thing. But still, I have to say this is a really nice move from these devs, and I'm happy to see it. And I hope their game does really well. Obviously, there are concerns as to how much this is going to affect sales. But to be honest, I think a lot of people are going to be moved to buy this game because A, it looks really good, and B, them showing such a bold and human move, such a compassionate move, and such a bold statement to say don't buy it for key reselling sites, and just flat out saying, look, we would rather you just download this than do that. I think a lot of people are going to show them support by purchasing the game, which has, as I said, been doing quite well already on its own. To be honest, this game was not on my radar at all until I saw this news, but it does look rather good, and I might give it a bash. Not on Pirate Bay though. I'm just going to buy it because, you know, that's how I roll. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.